Warning, the show may contain some crude humor and mild swearing. Listener discretion is advised. This show is produced by Geek Happy Network, constantly curious about the things we love. If you enjoyed listening to Smörgåsbord, remember to subscribe to the show on Spotify, YouTube, or on your favorite podcast app. Remember to leave a review. We would love to hear your thoughts. This is Smörgåsbord!
Welcome to Smörgåsbord, a show where we explore the rituals, myths, and all things strange about the world of food. I'm Mick, and here is my co-host,
Angel.
And today we have a special guest, Bianca, or you could introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Bianca.
And today we're starting a 3-part series covering the world of food during Muslim holidays.
Woohoo!
I know nothing about this. I'm so glad someone else is here.
Yeah, this is why we brought Bianca. She's our resident consultant.
Know-y person.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only like representing one part of the Muslim world, so.
Yeah, because you lived in, was it Dubai for a certain amount of time?
Yeah, I basically grew up in Dubai.
Nice.
One of you has a siren.
Not me. I live in Burnaby.
It's actually not me.
That's not me. That's gone now.
It must have been me. These headphones are great.
Good to know.
Like, it's usually me, because downtown.
Yeah, so I grew up most of my life in Dubai, so I'm like saturated in all of the Muslim and Islamic culture there, but it's still like a little bit like lenient, I would say. Okay. It's not super strict.
Right. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, you know way more than Angel and I combined.
No, like me is at a 0. At least you did some research.
Yeah, I did some research. So yeah, we're gonna do like a 3-part series for the next 3 episodes about the Muslim culture. The first 2 parts will cover the Eid al-Fitr. How do you pronounce this?
Eid al-Fitr.
Eid al-Fitr, which is the festival of breaking fast. And the third and last part of the series will cover Eid al-Adha, which is the festival of sacrifice. We have 2 parts for the Eid al-Fitr because we also kind of need to cover Ramadan, which is sort of related to it, and that's what we were going to focus on today.
All right.
Yes, and it's nice to have our local expert here because she's probably going to correct us for all the research
you notice
that
how I
screwed
haven't
up on.
even tried to pronounce anything.
It's okay. I'm no expert either. Don't worry.
Right. It's fine. You know, you're expert amongst the 3 of us.
Oh, sure.
Well, to start everything off, I wanted to start with what exactly an Eid is. And from what I found, Eid just means a feast or a festival. And among the Muslim culture. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Eid in translation just means a holiday. And
right.
then in Islamic calendar, there's 2. So it's, and then they're very close to the end. Like, I think Eid during, like, Eid al-Fitr is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. So Islam usually bases their calendar on the moon sighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's August-ish?
No.
No?
Depends on the year.
Depends on the moon.
On the year?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this year it's May. It used
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's on May 23rd.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You think we're still going to be in quarantine by then?
Probably.
Probably.
We can do another cooking episode.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, as Bianca mentioned, there are 2 Eids among the Muslim religion. And these festivals are not just times to celebrate or party. It seems to be also a time for reflection, to look into the blessings you have in life and appreciate whatever fortune you may have.
Oh, that sounds so familiar.
Yeah, before we do cover these two fantastic Eids, as we talked about, we want to cover Ramadan as well. One thing to note is we're kind of going to do a general coverage of all of this. We obviously can't cover every country's regional differences or even the difference between practicing Sunni or Shia Islam, which is like two different kind of, I guess, sides of the Islam religion. So we're just going to kind of focus more on the broader side of things rather than specific regional differences, because I don't think all of us... I'm not well-traveled enough to do that.
Me neither.
And yeah, to start things off with Ramadan, like Bianca mentioned, Ramadan doesn't happen at the same day every year. So the question of when Ramadan starts is actually a pretty common Google question people ask, even among the Muslim culture, because as Bianca mentioned, the Islamic calendar follows a lunar calendar compared to what most of us follow, which is a solar calendar. What that means is that the solar calendar measures a year based on the sun's movement, while a lunar calendar measures a year based on the moon's movement. So if we try to talk about this in terms of months and years, once year in a solar calendar is one rotation of the Earth around the sun, or 365 days. On the other hand, a lunar calendar is measured in months, where 1 month equals one rotation of the moon around the Earth, which is about 29 and a half days. And if you multiply that by 12 months, is 354 days, which means a lunar calendar has 11 days less than a solar calendar.
Right, so every year it would lag a little bit more.
Yeah, by about 11 days.
Yeah.
And then, but that would be cumulative. So like every year it'll just get like earlier and earlier. Okay.
Exactly. So the reason why this is a big deal for Ramadan is because then if you celebrate Ramadan on a different, or based on the lunar calendar, that means, like you said, it goes back about 11 days every year. Which also becomes a little bit of a big deal because of what Ramadan is. Now, what exactly?
You said it starts, so it's like an extended over days?
Or it's a whole month.
Yeah. Oh, it's a whole month.
Yeah, like 30 days.
A whole lunar month or a whole solar month.
Yeah. Believe it or not, someone in Dubai is like looking at a telescope every day.
Yeah.
Just to like put it on paper, like, oh, our final day of Ramadan is this day.
Yeah.
And they don't announce it until like the night before. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the reason that happens is because it's not like the solar calendar, which is somewhat predictable. The way that the lunar calendar works for Islam is they follow the moon's sighting. Not necessarily by science, but actually by physically verifying that the new moon has began. So with Ramadan, which starts on the 9th month, I believe, that means they wait for the 9th moon rising to happen visually.
Okay.
To say that the month has started.
And you can't count on Google for this.
No.
You can't just be like, Google says it's on this day, so...
You need a huge telescope.
You actually have
exactly.
to look at it. Okay.
Which is why also it's a common thing to Google when Ramadan starts, because
well, you know what? Google doesn't know, okay?
Yeah. That's why Google will usually give you like a date and say it's around this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of an anticipation, but kind of a surprise at the same time.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How do you pre-grocery shop for this?
Well, this is the thing about... You can kind of estimate where it is, so a few days is not too bad of a thing for grocery shopping, I guess.
Yeah. I think like from my experience, I think like maybe like a week before it even starts, people are already like buying stuff at the groceries.
Now, when it comes to what exactly is Ramadan, well, the month of Ramadan is one of the most important months of the year for Islam. It's known to be the month for fasting and reflection. Fasting meaning you don't eat for a certain amount of time. According to the belief in Islam, the That's the beef rendang.
Witness you die on Zoom.
Nice. This is
There we
the
go.
episode.
This is the episode. Now, yeah, according to Islamic beliefs, the month of Ramadan is when God revealed the first verses of the Quran to Muhammad. The Quran is the holy book of Islam, which contains essentially what the history and teachings of the religion is. Which is why this time becomes a time for Muslims to review and contemplate their own relationship with the God that they believe in hopes, I suppose, to hear from God as well, the same way Muhammad did. When it comes to what you actually do in Ramadan, well, as we mentioned, Ramadan is like a month of fasting. So you fast essentially from dawn to dusk. So the moment the sun comes up, you begin your fast and then you end when the sun comes down. Every day. And that includes...
So kind of suck if it's in the summertime because the days
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why this whole lunar calendar becomes quite a big deal, right? Because then
are longer. Right.
summertime is the worst for it, and especially for some places, it becomes very difficult. Because think about Greenland, for example, where summer
Like
days
20
could
hours
last
of-
20 hours long. Exactly. Now, in the wintertime, it's not that bad because then you have like 1 hour of sunlight, which is an hour fast isn't too
I think
bad.
in
but-
Iceland it's like 2 hours. I
Yeah.
think.
But when it comes to the summertime, it's 20 hours, which is not the easiest thing. What happens usually there are some exceptions or adjustments that they allow for it. So sometimes what some people in Greenland, for example, will say they just follow the times that the Mecca tells them. So that way they don't have to fast for 20 hours. It's a pretty reasonable or realistic religious practice, I guess. So you don't have to suffer too much without
Minimal
reason.
suffering. That's
Yeah. When it comes to the fasting part, it isn't just having no food or drink, including water. Sometimes it also can include other things such as no sex, no cigarettes, or even sometimes some people, or even actually medication becomes something that you're not allowed to take. But some people also add other things too. Like I think I've heard some people don't also refrain from watching television or whatnot.
Yeah, for certain like non-Muslims, what me and a few friends did was like we would sacrifice at least one thing.
Right.
Yeah, and chewing gum. Can't chew gum.
oh
Yeah. I guess because
I
that's
was
counted as
about
eating.
to like,
Yeah.
grab my gum.
Yeah,
Yeah, so none of that. You don't eat, you don't drink any water or anything for essentially until the sun sets again. Now, of course,
Yeah.
there are some exceptions to the people who fast. So younger children, the elderly, people who are sick, people who are pregnant, or people who are traveling are some examples of people who don't necessarily have to fast during Ramadan. Again, a lot of this is related to, being realistic about the practice that they have. And one
Wait, so
thing-
the fasting is for an entire month?
yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
a whole month of that.
Yikes.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
it's very important. In fact, it's like the whole fasting during Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of the Islamic faith, which is I guess you could call it like the 5 most important things you should be doing as a Muslim would be what the 5
Yeah.
pillars are.
Yeah.
What are the other 4 pillars?
I don't remember all of it. There's almsgiving is one.
And there's like
the pilgrimage is another.
the pilgrimage for that's for Eid al-Adha.
Yeah.
and
The other 2 are, oh man, I
don't know
can't
if
remember.
it's charity. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe.
Prayers. Prayers is another one too.
Yeah.
That's 5.
And then, yeah.
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 I think we're missing, yeah.
It should be, because charity is like super important during Ramadan.
Yeah. Yeah, almsgiving is another pillar of Islamic faith. And yeah, it's really cool, like looking at these festivals that they really try to incorporate everybody into being able to celebrate, which I thought was really nice of them. Now, of course, while some Muslim dominant countries would probably adapt their businesses or schools to Ramadan, such as having reduced business hours, most Muslims around the world who don't live in Muslim dominant countries still have to practice this while living a regular life.
Yeah.
Which could be a mental or physical. Which would also be a mental ordeal, not just a physical one, right? Like being hungry obviously is kind of exhausting to your
Also, like
head.
not drinking water. That's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
It's like me right now. All I drink is coffee. Does that count?
Yeah. But it really teaches you a lot about patience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're super hungry, you could try to think of different things like
Yeah. And I think when we were in school, during lunchtime, like you can still go out if you want, but then most of the Muslims stay inside the building. Yeah, and then there was like a big difference. Like we were usually in the courtyard,
right.
and then during Ramadan, it's just like me and my Filipino friends, literally. And we're just playing basketball, and then everyone's inside in air conditioned buildings, which is it's like really hot. I guess no one wants to be outside and dehydrated. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you can't drink.
Yeah. And at the mall, they would like cover the windows, and then they would like the food court, they would put like a barrier, like just black curtains, so that
Oh, you can't even go in.
you can go in, but it's just to cover, like just to help people not be tempted or distracted by it. But you can still go in.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But if you do break the fast for whatever reason, though, it's not like you're going to go straight to hell or anything.
No.
You're able to actually make it up by fasting at a later time after Ramadan. Or they apparently say you could also just perform charitable or good deeds instead.
Yeah.
So this usually isn't an excuse to break the fast. This is more of like an accidental one. Like say you're dying of dehydration and you need to drink water. Then if you drink water for that time, then you can just make up your fast. But if you intentionally break the fast just because you're being a jerk, it's a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think you're allowed to just like restart the day again tomorrow, the next day.
Yeah.
But just don't like keep doing it like every day and then just like get to Iftar.
I mean, that would be me too.
Yeah.
Give up in the first 2 hours.
And then from what I've seen during the last 10 days of Ramadan, they also practice Laylat al-Qadr, which is just where they believe is a time that God actually revealed the first verses of the Quran. So it wasn't like a whole month of God slowly teasing out the verses. It was during the last 10 days or so that they believed God came up and revealed the verses to Muhammad. So this begins the day where more Muslims would spend time in prayer. And then once it ends, they have the big celebration, Eid al-Fitr, which we're going to cover in the next episode.
Yeah.
Now, as we are a food-based podcast, we obviously are not going to spend the rest of the episode talking about the fasting part, but what actually is the food part when it comes to Ramadan. So as we mentioned, the fasting only happens from dawn to dusk, which means they have essentially the time between those to prepare or recover from the fast.
Midnight snacks.
Exactly. So there are essentially kind of two meals, I guess it seems, during Ramadan that people or Muslims would consume, which is the Suhoor and the Iftar, which I think Bianca mentioned just a while ago.
Yeah.
So the Suhoor is what is the first meal of the day. It's, I guess, kind of like breakfast for us.
Like reverse breakfast.
Yeah.
Because it's at night.
Exactly. So this is...
Or like before sunrise.
Yeah.
Like an hour. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is the most important meal for them to survive the
Before-
Ramadan.
I was
Yeah.
thinking of it as like after dark is your first meal.
Oh, you're
Yeah. No. It's like around 4 in the
Yeah.
morning.
4 a.m.
Yeah,
That's
so-
also a time I like to eat.
but it's before sleep. Yeah.
No, it's after sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The suhoor
Depends
is
on
after
you.
sleep. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
for
during
them-
work.
Yeah. So essentially, you would wake up before the sun rises, about an hour before, so you could eat your
Yeah.
suhoor, which is your first
Oh,
meal.
Okay.
And then it also happens before your morning prayer. There's not really any strict rules about what you eat during suhoor, but it's usually highly recommended that you would eat food that has
A lot.
a lot of water or liquids and high energy foods. So, Angel, this might not work for you because fried chicken is probably one of the worst things you could eat for suhoor.
Hey, chicken can be very juicy.
Chicken would be juicy. The fried chicken is very dehydrating.
Oh no. I'm living a lie.
Yeah. So common dishes people would eat during suhoor would be grains, brown rice, milk, eggs,
Yeah, oatmeal.
yogurt, fruit, oatmeal, yeah, and salads. So kind of things that won't dehydrate you and but hydrate you instead, and also things that will give you energy, which is why fruits and grains are pretty common to eat there. For meats, fish and chicken are quite good to have during suhoor as well, compared to red meat, because red meat makes you more tired compared to fish and chicken. But yeah, like we mentioned, fried chicken is not really the best, or fried food in general.
Fish and chips. Oh,
Yeah.
damn. It's
Yeah.
like fish and chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Everything I like is fried.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they usually just go for something grilled after. Like there's not many fried. Yeah.
Yeah, Bianca, what kind of food did you eat for suhoor then, or did your friends eat?
Well, I didn't like do any fasting.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
So-
still eat it. You can just do it without
Yeah.
the fasting.
Yeah, pretty much. But like from what I know, it's usually just like lots of fruits,
Yeah.
oatmeal, and then just drink like a whole like
Load
chug of water.
And then you just pee it all out in 10 minutes.
The bathrooms
Yeah.
are full. 5
Yeah.
a.m.
Yeah, but it's
5
very
a.m.
like it's just like a simple breakfast, really.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess you don't want to overeat either, because then
Yeah.
You
that
get
would be
sleepy.
bad too. The funnest fact I found for the suhoor is the Mesaharati, which is the title of someone that's quite specific to the suhoor, because their job is to wake everyone up in time for the suhoor.
The town crier.
The town crier,
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Essentially, I think in like I don't know if they still do it in more in the cities or whatever, but in smaller rural areas, apparently the Mesaharati would walk around with a drum and wake everybody up.
Time to eat,
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. I think today I still do. We live near a mosque, so
Right.
every day at like 5 in the morning, it's just like
Oh man.
yeah, it's like really nice, but like it's not good sometimes.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's not like this crazed man or woman slamming on a really loud drum. It's more of a gentle boop, boop, boop,
Yeah, yeah.
boop.
They say the prayer over
Yeah.
the speaker
Oh,
out
cool.
loud. Yeah, it's
Nice.
great. Yeah. And it's just a really cool story. Usually, like when people are going to work, when they have to drive to work, right? They have to have
Yeah.
suhoor. Sometimes when they're in the middle of the road and there's a prayer going on,
Yeah.
no joke, cars will stop on the road
Right.
just to like listen to it and pray.
Oh, cool.
Like I have some videos of like actual cars on the road stopping,
Yeah.
and then everyone
Oh,
gets
cool.
out of their car, and then prays.
Really?
And then like yeah, and no one gets mad because obviously it's
Yeah.
it's respectful, but it's crazy. I love like me and my mom used to like just wait for
Right.
for the prayers to come on, and then like all the cars would just like stop in the middle of the road. They would like curve over the sidewalk, and then, like,
Right.
it's huge crowd of people. It's
Right.
great. Yeah, sidetrack.
No, that's
Cool.
cool. Yeah. I mean,
It's
yeah.
really fun.
It seems like prayer is such a big, important thing for Muslims, and it's kind of cool to see what they would do for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're excused from like being late to school or work
Yeah.
if that happens.
If
Yeah.
it happens, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on the flip side of the suhoor is the iftar, which is what you eat after you fast for the day.
Yeah.
The typical first thing most people eat during to break their fast is usually just water and dates, as it's believed that's how Muhammad fasted back in the day. A funny
Sugar.
reason, yeah,
And
the
milk,
sugar.
like camel
Yeah.
milk or something. Mhm.
Yeah. Now they do suggest not to eat too much when you break your fast. One of the funniest reasons I found of why you shouldn't do that, aside from giving a jolt to your body, is that because if you're gonna have to go and do your prayers after your short snack, the prayers, yeah, and the prayers for Muslims are quite physically involved. So you stand up, you come down, you kneel, you bend down, and all that. So imagine having to do all those motions on a full stomach. Not the best thing to do. So that's why
Yeah.
they said, have some water, have some dates, do your prayers, and then you can come back home and have a
eat.
proper iftar, which is dinner, I guess, would be the English equivalent. Just have your dinner after that.
Yeah.
Because eating too much is burdensome, not just physically, but maybe for some deep spiritual reasons in your belly.
Yeah. And even at the mosque, they like give them out for everyone before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool to see how much food or whatever they provide people during this time. But yeah, for more privileged people, though, the iftar could be quite a feast after you've gone through all your prayers. Depending on where you are in the world, the food can be served there could be very different, but it's quite good. Different kinds of fruit juices or soup could help with hydration, or vegetables and meats could also be served to help with the hunger. So it's really like there's no specific food for iftar. It's whatever your country kind of food is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I really want some dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really good.
I don't think I've had some in a really long time.
Oh. You're in for a treat.
But last time I had it was wrapped in bacon. So it's not
Oh,
very-
really?
Wow.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I was at the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, nice.
Bacon wrapped dates. Like, how do you Americanize dates? You put bacon around it. Yeah. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
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 Now, for those who are, as you mentioned, a big part of all these festivals are also making sure everyone's able to avail of food and all that. So during Ramadan, sometimes people who are less privileged or lack resources for the iftar would be provided with some food by mosques or even some companies around there, or maybe some non-for-profits as well. So they would set up tents and tables and serve the food for those in need. So, nobody actually dies of fasting for past the requirements of Ramadan. Yeah, so that's kind of a little bit about what Ramadan is. It seems like a cool festival. I think this year it's happening in... Has it started already?
I thought I
No.
said it was
That's May.
It's May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to start,
It's
I
like
think...
end of May,
Yeah.
which is near midsummer,
Yeah.
which is the middle of June.
Yeah, so... You'll see probably...
It's a hard year.
It's a hard year. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like everything else this year.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's not too bad having to be quarantined, because then you're not forced to go out and eat.
You're never forced to go and eat. You just want to eat.
My body forces me.
Your eyes just glaze over.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yep. Now, as we do every episode, we ask whether it's healthy or it's good. When it comes to whether it's healthy or not, I guess maybe. I mean, I think
it's like intermittent fasting.
yeah, I
Pretty
guess
much.
so in some ways, especially the 20 hours.
Yeah. Okay, that's a little
Yeah.
long.
It's a very intermittent fasting.
Very intermittent. Because,
Yeah.
like, intermittent fasting, well, one of them is like, what, 16-8?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You don't eat for 16 hours. And
Yeah.
then you eat for 8,
Yeah.
which is pretty close to this.
Yeah, so this would be kind of the Western equivalent of, I guess, intermittent fasting. But like we mentioned, it's not really about the physical health when it comes to Ramadan. It's more of a spiritual journey that people partake in terms of reflecting into their lives and the decisions that they've made throughout the year, which I probably should do more often anyway. What some studies do seem to suggest that you may actually gain weight from Ramadan despite all the fasting. And that's because of the iftar mostly. So because the fasting kind of messes with your metabolism.
So many dates, man.
Yeah. Exactly. And the fasting
No, but what is it?
Sorry, well, because the fasting itself also affects your metabolism, right? And then you come back home and then you have your iftar, which usually is a big meal. Then you go home and sleep, or then you go and sleep.
You go to
so
sleep. Yeah, that's the problem.
You're essentially just digesting all this energy as you sleep,
Right.
which can potentially just lead to gaining weight instead of losing weight.
Yeah, I tried intermittent fasting for a little bit towards the end of the year last year. And I think I just like, as soon as it was time to break the fast, I would eat like 5,000 calories. I'm just like, everything.
All
like,
the Cheetos.
Overall, I don't think it was very productive. Well, I'd be on set and like, I would have like 6 breakfast burritos. Just, I'm like, how many can I have? They're like, how many do you want? I'm all like, 5, 6.
Oh. It's for all the PAs in the parking lot, but you're the only one.
It's like, I'm selling people off. It's all for me.
And when it comes to, is it good? Well, the fasting itself might not feel good, but the payoff seems to be pretty good. The iftar seems great.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, it always looks like.
It always.
Yeah, I mean, it always looks like, you like Angel was saying, you hype yourself up for the meal, so.
Yeah. Oh, you get super excited.
Over preparing for it. So yeah, I'd say it's good.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, I think when I had like a chance to actually go to a mosque and see how they do their iftar preparations, that was wild. It was like,
really?
It was like donations from different like corporations.
Cool.
And it was just like, no joke, like I had a video of it online. It's just like tubs of biryani rice. Ooh. And then they would use a shovel to mix it and scoop it on plates. I don't know if you can insert this somewhere on the screen, but it's really fun how they did it. And then they would
they cook so much rice.
Yeah, it's well, charity is part of it really. And a lot of companies are willing to just like donate.
No, I just mean like of the sheer volume. How do you cook so much rice?
You have a big ass rice cooker.
Yeah,
like is it one factory. Giant cook? Like probably, giant, or is it like 50 relatively large ones?
Probably, yeah. I mean, it was like bigger. They needed like 3 people to carry it.
Dang.
And it has like it's like one van at a time comes to the mosque. One is rice. One is all juice packs. One is all like milk. One is all water. It's like from different like companies in Dubai. It's really
whatever
crazy.
They wanted to sponsor. Right?
Yeah, sponsors. Yeah. And then there's like fruits, and then different volunteers would like lay them out by the mosque.
Yeah.
So in order, and then they would just like throw it on in the middle, like boodle fight. They just put it in the middle, sprinkle some dates, throw some oranges.
That's cool.
It's really great.
I wonder how they're gonna do it now for the Ronas.
You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably gonna be like packaged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And every package is 2 meters apart.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yep. Yeah, I think that was one of the coolest really things I found after finishing looking into Ramadan was the amount of, at least it seems to be a lot of support that you get from the community.
Yeah.
For the people who don't have enough, which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember like when I was filming that, I think I met a photographer. She was like, she was Muslim. She had a abaya. And then she said, do you want to go to the rooftop of this building? Because we can take cool photos. I said, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
No, yeah. And then we went up, and then we stayed there until they like lined up and went for iftar.
Oh, cool.
And the owner of the building like brought a table outside the roof, and then gave us like water and pastries.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so
yeah,
nice
I was
of them.
like, oh, that's so nice. Yeah, it's really sweet. Like it's interesting how like this holiday just brings everyone together in some way. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we'll upload the video, or we'll put a link to the video or something, if we can put it up on the screen for you and everybody,
Yeah,
so we
for
can
sure.
watch it too.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It looks so cool. I saw it and
Yeah.
I was like, that's a lot of rice.
Angel was so
much
scared.
rice.
It was
Like a
my first
nightmare for
time.
Angel.
I was with my mom with that, by the way, and she was just like, "Oh my god, they're using a shovel."
Yes, yeah. No better way to serve big amounts of food than a
Rice?
shovel. Yeah.
Yeah,
How many shovelfuls of rice do you think you can eat?
maybe like just 2.
One?
Depends on how big.
Yeah, I guess.
Actual dirt shovels. Are like, not
Those
a
are pretty
snow
big.
shovel,
Yeah.
'cause those,
I guess. Yeah, I guess not a snow shovel.
a snow shovel would be like,
There's no shovels. Yeah,
and it's like a scoop shape too.
Yeah, I don't think it finished that.
yeah. And then what's funny is that like that's just like breaking. That's just a iftar. It's not even like the final meal.
Right.
Like
yeah.
they go for prayer and then they have to like go eat again afterwards.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the restaurants and the malls are usually open like either 24/7 or till like 3 a.m.
Right.
Yeah, because they understand that some people will probably want takeout in the middle of the night. Yeah.
Right. So like they'll be open more in the evenings. Will they serve food for the suhoor as well?
No, not so hard.
Just
No.
for iftar. Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
It's pretty cool.
Things open at night.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of food, what did you guys eat today?
Well, I
What's
ran
in
out
your
of
pal?
spam challenge food. So
Did it get more acidic as the days went?
it got more and more sour. It pre-digested itself.
Oh.
No, but okay, my favorite grapes are in season right now. So I got a big old bag of it.
Ooh, nice.
Muscat grapes.
Ooh,
They're
nice.
like popping candy. It's
Yeah.
good.
Those things are so good.
I love cooking.
Okay, what did you cook today?
What did you cook today?
So I think Mick, you probably know this. It's called embutido.
Oh, cool. Wow.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
like It's Angel. It's like Filipino meatloaf. It's like
Yeah.
it's like
Meatloaf.
pork. Yeah, it's like pork, bell pepper, like sausages, egg.
Yeah.
You can.
Then
Yeah.
you
Just mix it together and
Yeah.
then form
Yeah.
like a log. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could use it as stuffing as well, right? Like you could shove it inside a chicken or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty
They're
good.
really good.
Wrap
lot-
bacon around it. Come on.
Yeah, you could wrap bacon around it for sure.
Like I just want to put more cholesterol in this cholesterol.
Yes.
Put some lard too in between the embutido and the bacon, because
Some butter.
yeah, you gotta line that up properly.
Cheese.
Yep.
Oh man, no, it's good. I just made it, and it's usually nice. Like you just put it in the fridge, and you
Nice.
take it out.
You
Yeah,
can eat it
it's-
for days.
for
Yeah.
days. Yeah,
Yeah, there's several things in season that I'm really into right now. So
Yeah.
the muscat grapes and then fava beans. But fava beans are kind of a pain in the ass to cook with because there's so much shelling to do. Like, you have to take it off like the big long peel thing, and then
Right.
you have to peel them even more individually. So it's like you have this much bean. It's like it took me 2 hours to get this many.
So you stick with the muscat grapes. Grapes.
Yeah, you can just eat the grapes. You don't have to peel them.
oh my gosh.
Well, so that's
Yeah.
Ramadan.
Yeah,
The next episode next week will cover Eid al-Fitr, which is the opposite of Ramadan, which is more of a celebration of food rather than a fasting of food.
Yeah. It's the end of Ramadan, so it's
Yeah.
yeah. The wait is over.
Is it also a month?
No.
No.
Oh. I was hoping
like-
it's a month of eating.
It's usually like over the weekend, like a 3-day holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tune in
okay.
on the next episode for that. Bye, I guess.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye. This is Smörgåsbord. Have a ritual, myth, or something strange you want us to explore? Send us a message through Facebook at Geek Happy Network or email us at team@geekhappynetwork.com. We'd love to hear from our fellow Smorgies. This show was created by Angel Lynn and Mick Narciso, hosted by Angel Lynn and Mick Narciso, edited by Mick Narciso and Bianca Gueco, logo and graphics by Angel Lynn, music by Mick Narciso, and videography by Bianca Gueco.